you already know, man. It's Deion Dawkins, and you listening to the Real Deal Sports Show on the Beat 105.5.
All right, that's what you're listening to, the Beat 105.5. The Rad Man is back. Rad Man Radney from Challenger Community News, sports director of Challenger Community News. Check out Challenger Community News each week. We telling you not what we heard, we talking about what we know. Straight up here from Real Deal Sports Show every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Talking sports of all sorts. And I got my Super Bowl jersey on, the Chiefs versus the 49ers Super Bowl jersey. Hey, that means the road to the Super Bowl starts next week with the NFL draft. And we're going to get into the NFL draft and talk about what the Buffalo Bills need to do and what some of these other teams need to do. Real Deal Sports Show, I'm coming to you live from the Rock Palm Broker Studios. Check out Sammy and the crew. Mother's Day coming up. Get mama something nice. Get her some bling. Come on over there to 559 State Street and check out Sammy and the whole crew over there at Rock Palm Brokers. That's why we broadcast live from their studios each and every Saturday morning. Yes, indeed. We have also regular co-host J-GILLZ. J-GILLZ, good morning. Welcome. Real Deal Sports Show.
Hey, good morning, Radman, and good morning to the Real Deal fan, man. What an exciting week in sports. So much going on. Some congratulations need to go out, of course, to Rochester Zone, the Asia Fair going to the Las Vegas Aces. You know what I mean? Just some great stuff going on right now. Thomas Bryant and the Miami Heat clinching that 8th seed, going up against the Boston Celtics. Rochester's doing their sports thing, and we'll be remiss not to shout them out.
Yeah, a city of this size is really coming on in the sports world. Amazing. Asia Fair, outstanding week. Outstanding. Congratulations being drafted. And she really is drafted 16th overall, number 4 in the second round, 4th player taken in the second round. That is outstanding. The young girl over at Edison Tech back in the day over there at Edison, seeing her play over there. The young people out there in Radio Land and adults, to let your kids know about the Asia Fair, that she started out right here in the community, Boys and Girls Club in the community, Edison Tech High School. Just let these your kids know that, hey, like her Asia Fair father said, hey, this is where it starts. This is not where it ends. You start out and you grow. You never know. And take your kid places. Take them places. Get them acclimated to different activities, different events. You don't know what your son or daughter might become the next pianist or artist or writer or whatever the case may be. But just let your kid experience life and experience a lot of different things. You never know where that track will lead to. So just make sure you get your kid out. Take them places. There's a lot of free places to go here in Rochester, New York, or here anywhere in America, museums, the parks. There's so many free places and things to do with your kids. Spend time with your kids. Get them out there. The people who spend time with their kids, you see how they excel in life. Yes, indeed. So we're going to keep on spreading the positive word, J-GILLZ. Yes, indeed. And we're going to go get right into NFL draft. The Bills, hey, all good things must come to an end. There's a salary cap in the National Football League, and you look at the highest paid players in the league, the Bengals. Joe Burrow's at number 1, Justin Herbert number 2, Lamar Jackson number 3, Jalen Hurts 4, Russell Wilson 5, in the Broncos. All those teams have cap issues. The Cardinals, the Browns, Deshaun Watson at number 7, Patrick Mahomes at number 8, Josh Allen number 9, and BacSpin's favorite guy, Dak Prescott, at number 10. These guys, and one thing they all have in common, all those teams have cap problems, cap issues. So they got to massage it. They got to get rid of people. People wonder, why the Cowboys get rid of this guy? Why the Bills get rid of half their team? Because they tried to win the Super Bowl when their quarterbacks weren't in the top 10 of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. Every one of those top 10 teams had to make some moves with getting rid of quality talent that they wish they could have kept, but unfortunately they had to let those guys go due to the salary cap. You got to meet us, and the cap this year is $255 million. That's your roster, $255 million, the solid number. That's where you got to meet. So the Bills are gonna play with a lot of young guys, like the Green Bay Packers. They had to play with a lot of young guys because back in the day, the quarterback was getting paid so much money they had to, and he refused to take a pay cut or anything like that. they had to go young, and I think that's the formula you're going to see because the Green Bay Packers did very well with it. There's a lot of quality receivers out in the draft. You can get a receiver not only in the first round, but the second round, the fifth round, sixth round. And Brandon Beane seems to be really good at 5 through 7, which is amazing to me. He can come up with starters through from round 5 through round 7. Those are usually guys you use for your practice squad, J-GILLZ. They usually not, you don't think they're going to make the team, but these guys not only make the team, they start. So keep an eye out for that, J-GILLZ. Your point on the salary cap and those 10 quarterbacks, the 10 teams of quarterbacks that just listed.
Oh, absolutely. It also, you got to talk about the second wave of free agency, where all those June 1st cuts, typically once those contracts are voided, those are additional 10 to 15 million. I know with the Tre'Davious White contract, there's whole another market after the draft of guys that can be added on there. You got guys like Odell Beckham Jr. who are still roaming around there in NFL free agency, Tyler Boyd. I'm not sure if these are the names that Bills fans want to hear, but these are some people that could just bluster that receiver room along with a rookie receiver. So that after the draft, after June 1st, when a lot of that contract money clears, the final 55 we don't get that until August. So still be hopeful, and the Bills definitely still have a chance to get that offense back to promiscuity.
Yes, it did. Keep in mind, most teams now, most veteran players like the Odell Beckhams and these defense and most veteran guys, they don't even get picked up until between September. They don't even want to play during the training camp or get into the training camp program. They want to come play. Some guys only play 8 games, or they come second half of the season. They don't come right away like they used to. So now the veteran guys are learning. Say, hey, why would I need to be out here playing all these games when they got 17 games? Regular season, I can come in halfway through the season, sit out, keep yourself in shape, keep working out, having yourself ready when the phone call arises, and make a move later in the season. So you don't have to. So you're gonna see a lot of veteran guys, household name guys like you mentioned, Odell Beckham and some of these other cats. You won't see them until halfway through the 2024 season because they sitting out, they keeping their bodies right. They letting these teams go ahead and pick these younger guys and see it. And then when injuries happen, then they can step in and join a squad and join a team and hopefully join a team for a Super Bowl run later in the season. And the Bills, one thing I think with safety Mike Edwards, who started with the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl back that we saw him start in the Super Bowl back in February, is now penciled in as one of the Bills' starting safeties. BacSpin, let's hear what he has to say about coming to Buffalo and why he chose Buffalo as a spot to bring his talents to.
Yeah, the system, like I said, the system is definitely safety friendly. To do all things with safeties, kind of like I did with Kansas City, but they definitely, harp on, making plays as safeties, let you, kind of do your own thing for the most part, kind of just be yourself and everything like that. So definitely can't wait for them to coach me and show me a lot of the things that those guys did and show me some few things that I can pick up on and everything. So I'm definitely excited about that. Like it starts with catching it or whatever, getting the football first, but just trying to get to the end zone, trying to score points for the offense, score points for the team, and just that creates the extra momentum for the whole team, for the whole game. So the turnover is great, but if you score it, it's even better. So I always harp on that. Taking away the football, getting the ball back to our offense. But if you score, the offense don't have to do anything. So that's definitely a great thing.
Yes, indeed. And Mike Edwards is not a hitter or a tackler per se. He's a big play guy, like big play slave with the Eagles. This guy, he picked up a fumble, ran it back 90-some yards for a touchdown. Interceptions. This guy, he's a ball hawk. He can get to the ball. I can expect to see him with the Bills, with him learning the system that the Bills run, and he's that type of safety that they're looking for. Expect him to be able to make some plays, make some turnovers, interceptions especially, counting on him during the upcoming season. So the Bills have their back-end safeties, Taylor Rapp, Mike Edwards. I think they should go for a linebacker too, pick up a linebacker, a defensive lineman in the draft. But everybody's talking offense. I have a feeling these defensive-minded guys may jump and take a defensive player at that draft when the Bills' #1 draft pick, and then go to the receivers in the 2nd and 3rd round, and maybe even 4th round. Because you mean Khalil Shakir was like a 3rd, 4th round pick. So, and there's talented guys out there. They just did, they're just not playing on. They just didn't go to LSU or Alabama. You saw those guys on TV every week, Neighbors and all these cats, household names. But there's some other guys that aren't household names that can play in the National Football League. And I think you're going to see Buffalo maybe get a defensive guy in the 1st round, then go into the wide receivers in that 2nd through 4th or 5th round, and also possibly pick up some defensive backs as well, because they love picking up defensive backs somewhere from Chattanooga down the street somewhere, University. They always find some guy from Villanova last year. They're good at finding guys from the smaller schools playing in the National Football and not only making the Bills team, but starting. J-GILLZ, your theory on how Bean, it seems to be lucky at getting this each year?
Man, I think it just boils down to the scouting process. Brandon Reed, all the way back to his days as a lead scout with the Carolina Panthers. He just has a keen eye for talent. And, I think the other thing is just the system. Sean McDermott and his system has been around in Buffalo for a long, long time. He's creeping up there as one of the longest coaches to be with the team. So when you look at the system, the guys know what they need, the kind of guys that fit. So that's why it's always such a seamless fit trying to get these free agents, because when you have a system, you know what you're running. It's easy to just plug those guys in. And I think that Brandon Bean has shown and proved to be pretty good at that throughout his career.
Absolutely. He's been very good. I give him a hard time, but man, he finds a way to find some guys, some diamonds in the rough. And I expect that next weekend. So don't be blown away that you never heard of these guys, or you're like, who, what? Well, he from where? University of what? Okay, don't be surprised. But they did find out that Buffalo, because they don't have any money, they one of those top 10 teams with quarterbacks making big time money. So they can't be playing big time money out. They're going to be getting guys that they can find reasonable, get some young talent, young receivers to go along with it. And keep in mind, as the season progresses, some of these veteran receivers who's sitting out may, become available, and you get a chance to get them for cheap, because that's the only way you're going to get them this particular year, because the Bills are in cap hell. They're looking for the cheapest guys they can find who can play at a high level. That's what's going to happen.
Man, we got to just be honest. Now, with this draft strategy in which you're implementing, Bills fans shouldn't expect much success. I mean, if you're going into this with receivers that you've identified as pieces that you can grow with, and you're looking at this offense, what it is not going to be able to keep up with those elite teams in the AFC. C.J. Stroud just got a haul of an offense with all those guys, Joe Mixon and Stephon Diggs and Tank Dell and Nico Collins. Mahomes is proven to be doing his thing, and that everybody is a Mahomes. Lamar Jackson amped up with a guy like Derrick Henry. Not to mention the Dolphins still got those 2 dynamic receivers. Look at the added Jonnu Smith. Buffalo, if you're gonna do this strategy, just Bills Mafia, you have to understand that those expectations are going to be very, very small for the Buffalo Bills this upcoming season. I don't want to hear the Super Bowl talk for the Bills fans.
Well, they shouldn't be talking Super Bowl. They should be talking winning the division and staying competitive. This is a competitive year. 2025 and 2026 should be back to Super Bowl talk, when the Bills will have more money to spend and more money to bring in high-quality veterans to help some of this young talent that they're acquiring this year. This is what you call a bridge season for the Buffalo Bills. They're bridging out. They're bringing in talent. Hopefully, they may be able to win the division. They may be not. They may not be able to make the playoffs. They may get a wild card or something like that, but don't expect a 13-3 or 14-3 type season. This is not going to be the case this season. I still need to get a linebacker. Terrell Bernard, man, I don't know if he even got the cleat marks off his chest from last season, man. I mean, he got run over, man. You need a big guy in that middle. For you not to keep the guy you drafted, that's what Kansas City did. They kept Chris Jones on defense. They got Mahomes on offense, and then they shuffled the people around them and kept decent guys around them. And Mahomes is just so good that he's able to win games. And Chris Jones is so good, he's able to change games on defense. And I never got why they let Tremaine Edmonds go. That, to me, that didn't make no sense whatsoever. Tremaine Edmonds is big, strong, he can drop back, and he's better at dropping into the passing game, covering tight ends. And instead, you put a midget out there, football-wise. He's not a midget really in real life, guys. But I mean, and I don't mean to insult anybody. I'm not trying to insult. But for football, I hope the people don't come after me or anything. But I'm just saying, this guy is so small, man. Come on, man. I'm ready to run this guy over, man. I mean, come on, man. You got to put somebody in the middle that's big and sturdy and can make some tackles. And Terrell Bernard is not that guy. I'm not sold on him one bit playing the middle linebacker position. You got to make some moves. You look around the league, teams are making changes. There's a lot of changes going on. And let's take a look at Tennessee Titans, for example. They got Callahan, an offensive-minded coach. He's an offensive coordinator, formerly with the Cincinnati Bengals, helped the Bengals on the offensive side of the ball. But I thought Zach Taylor was the guru. Now we're going to see if Callahan was the guru or is it Zach Taylor? Or what about how come the brother didn't get a chance? I mean, the Callahan has got same doubts because everybody said Zach Taylor was the man. But Callahan's the offense coordinator. He gets a head coaching job with the Tennessee Titans. Let's BacSpin. We're gonna go there. Let's see what All-Pro possible future Hall of Famer Jeffrey Simmons, defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons, has to say about the new head coach and the change and the changing of the guard and losing Derrick Henry. This was taped a while during Super Bowl week, so Derrick Henry was had one foot out the door, and of course his other foot and everything is gone now. Let's see what Jeffrey Simmons has to say. With the changeover in coaching, how do you looking forward to the changes and things that's coming up with the Tennessee Titans?
I'm looking forward to it. Me and Brady had a great connection. We had a great relationship. Still have a great relationship. We text here and there, but we have to move on. A lot of people ask me about, do I hate this? Like, did it happen? I'm like, I'm not in control of that. The ownership made a decision, and I'm with it. I'm talking to Coach Callie, and I'm excited to see how he get better our team. And like I said, I'm ready to start back winning. So
is he a physical type coach? Do you think from talking to him already? Do you think he'll keep that? Because you guys are under Vrabel, you guys always had that.
I mean, every coach likes physicality, especially playing in this league. You can't be soft out there on that field. I'm sure Coach Callie know that playing against us in Tennessee. We done played them there every year. So like I said, I'm excited to see what he can do for us in Tennessee. The coaches he bringing in, I'm sure they're gonna be great for us. And like I said, I think it's gonna be good.
I think it's gonna be good. And then Derrick Henry leave, most likely leave. You get a changeover. So change can be good.
Things happen. Players come, players go, and I hate it. I hate he's not gonna be there. If he, hopefully we can sign him back. But we know how much Derrick meant to us. But I have full confidence in the guys that we got right now. Whoever gonna be on the team. I think that if Derrick not back, I know who the running back one is, Tajay. And I like him. He's pretty good. And like I said, so I'm excited about him and see his career take off.
Yes, indeed. I appreciate Jeffrey Simmons there, man, because he was clean, man, on the red carpet going into the Gospel Soul celebration, man. That brother was clean, y'all. Let me tell you, clean. Man, was he clean, J-GILLZ, or what?
He was clean. He was clean. He was doing his thing, and he got a lot to try and deal with in the AFC South. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you heard him say he had a little apprehensive. He said Callahan better know we better be physical now. Yeah, he said, because I said, I ain't seen nothing but finesse from this cat. I mean, you go from a Vrabel to an offensive coordinator. It's going to be interesting to see. And you got Tony Pollard now as the running back. They picked him up, a veteran running back from the Cowboys. I don't know why BacSpin and his crew gave him up to the Tennessee Titans, but we'll get to that later toward the end of the show. But Jeffrey Simmons made it clear that, hey man, you got to be physical. Hopefully the Titans can continue to be a physical defensive front and see if they can continue to play hard. And then on the flip side, can the young quarterback get it done for the Tennessee Titans with the new scheming and things of that nature? So it's changed over throughout the league, J-GILLZ. I'm looking for the New York Football Giants to make a move. They got to pick up. Now, they somebody that really need to pick a wide receiver. I don't think they've had a quality receiver since a big-time receiver since Odell Beckham left them. And he was like a more splash type guy. He wasn't catching the ball consistently, 8, 10, like a Stephon Diggs catching the ball, 10 receptions a game or something like that. He was more of the splash guy. So I think the Giants should be looking for that number to get them in Minnesota. Would the Vikings trade down? Would they be able to get into to get them a quarterback? Because the Vikings starting they don't look, man. They think about it, man. Glad we're not the Minnesota Vikings, man. With their starting quarterback, who was a former #1 draft pick out of USC. He's a bum, y'all. Straight up bum. I mean, he don't even need to hold a clipboard, man. The guy's a turnover machine. Obviously, he turns the ball over. So there's a lot of moves in the National Football League. Anything that stands out to you, J-GILLZ, for this upcoming draft?
I have to agree with you. When you talk about the New York Giants, looking at what they have done over these last couple of seasons, just investing in that offensive line, trying to save Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones still getting hurt. I think that they definitely need a #1 receiver. As we covered the game last year, and we looked at the New York Giants, they had guys like Sterling Shepard, Dede Westbrook, guys who just are not prototypical X receivers, guys who just can't get open. You know what I mean? So when you got a guy like Rome Odunze, I think that guy's going to be really, really good player in the NFL, 6'3", 212. He's strong, the good hands. He's compared to his Larry Fitzgerald. You have to get some sort of weapon on that field, and it's honestly a year too late. You already let Saquon Barkley walk. So now this skills position player is going in there as the best player with really nobody else around him. So, nobody to help him get open, nobody to relieve the duties on him. When you look at Saquon Barkley, I mean, he's going to the Eagles, and that offense is going to be dynamic. You got guys like A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and now Barkley to open it up for him. I just think that the New York Giants need to start filling out these skills positions to help whatever quarterback that they might have. I don't think it's going to be Daniel Jones for too much longer, but you have to have some sort of skills positions in order for a quarterback to survive. Look at Josh Allen. He wasn't able to do anything, and still Stephon Diggs came to the plate. Tua Tagovailoa, getting a guy like Jalen Waddle and then a guy like Tyreek Hill, got him into the MVP conversation. These guys need receivers, and you cannot pass up on a generational talent like Rome Odunze.
No, you sure can't. You can't afford to pass them up. But if they pass them up for a quarterback, that wouldn't make sense because you already paying. You decided to pay your current quarterback a whole lot of money that he doesn't deserve. So you really kind of put yourself behind the 8 ball in that type of situation. You decide to pay him. So now you need to get them some, like you said, some wide receiver talent, some skill positions to help them make a move. And then losing your running back like that to a team in your division, the Eagles, is really, man, that's adding insult to injury for the Giants, man. So they really got to work their way out of that hole and see if they can make some things happen. And I was thinking of Sam Darnold. What a bum quarterback. That's who's with the Minnesota Vikings right now as their starter. They're probably going to go with Sam Darnold to start, and then if they draft a rookie quarterback, bring him along later in the season. But Sam Darnold never should have been a top draft pick. He turned the ball over in college, and he turned the ball over in the pros. That's why he's been on 3 or 4 teams. The 49ers didn't keep him at the end of the Super Bowl run that they just completed because they see what everybody else sees. This guy just can't get it done at this level. And it's just plain and simple. Sam Darnold is who I was referring to earlier. He's tough to really get it done. And the Dolphins, I'm concerned. The Dolphins looking very good. The Jets, the defense is solid with the Jets, but what the quarterback position, what they're going to do, I really don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to last the entire season again. I mean, he's old, man. He's coming off an Achilles injury, and watch how he comes off the Achilles injury. He's going to show you that he was lying the whole time last season that he could have played toward the end of last season because he's barely not going to look that good coming out this season because Achilles injuries takes quite a while to heal from. So I think he's going to show you that, man, this guy don't look much better than he did before he was injured last season. So the Jets, I count the New England's rebuilding. So I think it's the Dolphins and the Bills slugging it out to see who can win. The Bills working on that defense and hopefully can come up with some offensive help to help Josh Allen. And let's see who the leader going to be because the head coach said the other day, head coach Sean McDermott, the Buffalo Bills said, Hey, I got 15 potential leaders. So when you say that to the media, you got 15 potential leaders, mean you don't have one. That's what it means, J-GILLZ. You got 15 potentials. That means you don't have one. And you had about 6 or 7 that you had to let out the door because of the salary cap. I understand why you cut them. That's nothing wrong with that. You had to do it. But man, if you got 15 and that means you don't have one. That means man, by the time they got to figure something out between OTAs and training camp, and hopefully we'll see when they come to St. John Fisher who the potential leaders will be. Hopefully they'll cut that 15 down to 5 maybe or something, and see who gonna be leading this team as we go. And now we get to see what kind of leader is Josh Allen. We kept hearing people.
I was just gonna go to.
Yeah, everybody said Josh Allen this or that, and then the guy came with an erroneous statement trying to say Josh Allen did, which was totally wrong, totally false. Stephon Diggs was the guy that propped Josh Allen up for all of this time, because Josh Allen was looking like a deer in headlights most of the time until Stephon Diggs had to go in the locker room and calm this man down. Even after that infamous loss to the Jets to start the season last year, which the Bills lost as a team, but Josh Allen really lost that game because of the stupidity and the stupid plays he made in that game. And Stephon Diggs had to go in the locker room. This guy, everybody else leaving with their luggage and rolling out, got their headsets on, got the music going to the team bus. This guy huddled up in the cubby hole of his locker. And Stephon Diggs said, man, get out the locker, man. Come on, man. You got to get on the bus like everybody else, man. What's wrong with you, man? We trying to win, man. There's only one. I can't repeat exactly. One freaking game and a few other words, salty words Stephon Diggs had for Josh Allen right there in the locker room, man. Said, man, get up and get going and come on. So I don't know. Josh Allen got to pull it together, man. He got to pull himself together. Do you think he can do it? J-GILLZ, from what you saw in his body language of Josh Allen of last season, do you think this guy's capable of turning into a leader that can lead a team to victory?
Well, I think after looking at the season, getting those guys out of the team, a guy like a Mitch Morse, a guy like a Stephon Diggs, I think Josh Allen has no other choice. He's got the full support of the real leader of the team, who is Deion Dawkins. That's what we know. Yes. He's the real pulse of the team. He's the real leader on that squad, and he definitely is a Josh Allen guy. He's going to support his quarterback. So I think that Brandon Beane and Coach McDermott lined it up. So all these young guys, they don't have anybody that's gonna. There's no bigger personalities right now, so there's nobody who can overshadow Josh Allen and his leadership. Because Stephon Diggs, that's a fiery guy. He had the pulse of the team. Gabe Davis and all those guys, they rallied around him. As did Deion Dawkins. Now he's gone. Mitch Morse is gone. Gabe Davis is gone. Josh Allen, it's basically tailor-made for you to have your voice be heard and your voice be made. It's time for you to step up. And there's nobody really to challenge him. James Cook, he's not a really explosive guy when it comes to galvanizing people. They don't really have that anymore. So Josh Allen is going to have to be that. And it's going to have to start this season.
Absolutely. It's going to have to start this season for sure. And we'll pick up on it, and we'll get back to that draft in a little bit because we have our next guest for the show. Before we bring our next guest on, the award-winning Miriam Rivera Insurance Agency, Auto, Home, Health, and Life Insurance, 1038 Lyle Avenue or 511 Bean Road, Suite B. Give her a call, 585 area code 360-0094. If she can save the Rad Man, his family, a hell of a lot of money, I guarantee you, Miriam Rivera Insurance, Farmers Insurance Agency, can save you and your family some money. Call up for a free quote, see what she can do for you. She can get it done. She's expanding. She's an award winner. Don't you want an award? Somebody that's been winning awards for selling insurance and finding people successful insurance policies, home, health, and life insurance? Because somebody just starting out or trying to figure it out, this lady's figured it out. She's making it happen. Check out Miriam Rivera Insurance Agency. And also Challenger Community News, Western U.S. largest weekly African-American newspaper, thechallengernews.com. Call 766-3590 if you want to do some advertising. Or if you have articles that want to run in the paper free of charge, I said free of charge, send it to editor at The Challenger News, NEWS.com. Challenger News, NEWS.com. Free, for free, y'all. Send your article, your announcements, things of that nature into the paper, and we'll publish it for free in the Challenger Community News. But if you have an advertising budget and like to advertise, let us know as well. We'd be glad to take your help with advertising dollars. Keeps the paper going as well and keeps the staff happy and happy-go-lucky and working and getting the news out as we've been doing for the past 60 years. So Challenger Community News for sure. And next up, we're going to move J-GILLZ to our next guest coming up. And we have our guest coming in, Mr. Tim Redding, who's involved with this upcoming celebrity softball game at Innovative Field coming up on Saturday, May 11th. Tim Redding, welcome to Real Deal Sports Show. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Oh, man, I'm doing great this morning. I hope you all are doing well also. How's the weather up there in Western New York?
Not bad. Not bad. They talking about snow in a couple of days, a little rain, a little cool as usual right now, and we still got the heat on. So, so we still got the heat on. So you know what it is. You know what time it is here in Western New York, Tim. It's still what they call it, brisk to say a word.
Yeah, that's right.
I love when people say brisk. They like, yeah, it's brisk. So that's what we're trying to. Yes, indeed. So what's going on with your team? How you get involved with this softball tournament or softball game? Softball game.
Yeah, so Premier Talent Relations and Joe Lynch reached out to me and kind of asked me if I had anybody helping, trying to put me back out into the community, if I had any engagements or commitments like that back up in Western New York in the Rochester, Buffalo area. And I said, no, not really, since I got done playing after the 2013 season. I coached for 5 years with the Nationals after that. In the minor leagues as a pitching coach. And, I still have my agent and stuff like that from my playing days. And if I get back to Major League Baseball in a coaching atmosphere, then he's available to negotiate contracts on my behalf. But I really didn't have anything other than myself trying to initiate, engagements or outings or signings or any of that kind of stuff. So Joe reached out to me privately and just wanted to kind of have a meeting. And I'm glad I took that meeting and that email. And, we had a couple of signings last fall. We did a pitcher's camp at Gates Childhood Middle School last fall. And we started talking. And I said, hey, Joe, I'm involved in this huge charity foundation called Rise to Greatness Foundation. And we travel the country and are looking to expand and possibly travel the globe. And we put on for free camps and clinics for underprivileged, impoverished communities and individuals. We go to inner cities. We're trying to expand the game back into the African-American communities where the money might not be great. Baseball is a tough sport because there's a longevity in the development stage. It's not basketball. It's not football where you can kind of get in there, get going, get hot, and then you're one of a few that make it. Baseball's kind of got a longer process, and softball too. And so I was telling Joe about our mission and our objective and our initiative with the Rise to Greatness Foundation, and he was like, "Oh man, that'd be a great idea. Do you think we should do a celebrity softball thing here in Rochester?" And I was like, "Well, are you talking about with the Rise to Greatness, or are you talking about us trying to get something going?" And he's like, no, let's do something with Premier Talent Relations. And, we can use your connections. And I've got connections with John Wallace and a couple other people from the area. And let's see if we can put something together and benefit the Gallo Children's Hospital. And that's kind of how it all came about.
Wow. Just like that. Wow. It takes a minute to get together. That's beautiful. That's excellent. J-GILLZ.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys are doing a fantastic thing, obviously. What goes into just wanting to help the community and really, raise awareness and really serve for the community? Is that something that you've always been about?
It's I'm gonna be honest, it wasn't something that I really thought a whole lot about as I was playing. Being that I grew up on the west side out in Churchville and Child-Eye area, it's not exactly lower upper class or upper middle class, but it's definitely back when I was there 30 something years ago. We were just kind of a yeah, we were just kind of a middle ground, maybe a little upper lower rural area. We had some farms, we had some mom and pop shops. Like, it was a great place to grow up, great place to live. You're not too far out of the city, but you're not close enough to have to deal with a lot of the stuff that goes on within the city limits, like Rochester. So it was really more about just trying, for me, as I was playing, to put myself in a position where I could help my family, try and better themselves. But as I got to the major leagues and I started playing for different cities and different organizations and being involved with their outreach programs and doing, going to children's elementary schools and reading for them in a class, or when I was with the Nationals, I went to the Walter Reed Hospital and visited veterans who had been wounded in wars and were recovering. It was that moment that really hit me that, our platforms as professional athletes are so much broader and wider than we could even possibly imagine. And there's no reason why we can't take a couple minutes every day out of our lives to figure out a way to try and give back. And it's kind of flourished from there. And when I got on board with the Rise to Greatness Foundation with a lot of other former MLB alums, Brian Jordan, two-sport athlete with the NFL and MLB, Luis Gonzalez, who was a World Series champion, hit that bloop single off Mariano Rivera for the Diamondbacks to win. We got guys like Preston Wilson, Reggie Sanders, Kyle Farnsworth. So, I mean, we've got about 15 former major league players that are involved in this foundation with Rise to Greatness. And getting involved with brothers and colleagues and former teammates and or opponents, and just coming into a neutral ground and just wanting to project everything we have out to any local community or any community abroad that we can bring happiness to. It's really kind of opened me and my family up to endless possibilities to give back to communities.
Wow. That's excellent. And so you'll be coming in on May 11th. Innovative Field, which is formerly Frontier Field for people that don't know, downtown Rochester. You'll be here on May 11th, coaching one of the teams, giving them your time to come in. And I know Jordan, you mentioned he's scheduled to come in as well. So some of the players from the foundation will be a part of this celebrity game as well. Correct, Tim?
Yes, that's correct. So with our foundation and what we do, I talked to our chair, Jennifer Ford, and asked her, would it be okay if I asked some of our guys to participate in this if they had the freedom and the time? And she said, absolutely. She's like, anything we can do, not even putting our name on it, but anything we can do as our family of our people that involves giving back to children and giving back to communities. Like, please, you guys need to network yourselves, outside of our own little thing, because now every one of you might have your little charity event or your own little initiative. And if you guys are on board with everybody else's stuff, then there's no reason we need to limit you to only being in this circle. We want all these circles to start to intertwine, kind of like the Olympic rings, which kind of brings the world together for a short period of time, because everybody wants to have some pride and some, continuity and end all the, the political racism and all that stuff out there. So Brian Jordan's coming. I know Kyle Farnsworth was supposed to, and he had another obligation come up that he had to miss out on. Preston Wilson was supposed to come. He had to miss out on. So I know from us, it's me and Brian. I had a couple other guys that were interested. I'm still waiting to hear back if we can get some late add-ons there. But I'm just more personally excited. I mean, I'm still a fan, and I heard you guys talking about Josh Allen and the Bills and Stephon, and I'm excited to see all my childhood heroes like Andre Reed, and I know Fred Jackson was supposed to come and he had an injury and had to back out. But seeing some of these Buffalo Bills that I've admired and honored in their sports, and that's the thing. Like when you get into raising awareness and raising opportunities for communities, it's unbelievable how far out this web stretches and grabs people and brings them in. And I think that's more than anything. For us, it's going to be a fun day. It's going to be an exciting opportunity to kind of mingle and meet people from different organizations and genres. I mean, we got pro wrestlers and hockey players and golfers and media and
Wow.
but any time we can help the children in any aspect, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and fans gonna have opportunities for autograph session, autographs from the various players and celebrities and so forth. So it's gonna look like it's shaping up to be a great day and I'm sure it's the sun. We're gonna be pushing for that sun will be back by May 11th. Warm, make you think you're in Florida or wherever you might be right now, Tim, Arizona. You're gonna feel that when you get back here on Saturday, May 11th for that date. But
Real
question,
quick.
go ahead,
Go ahead.
J-GILLZ. Go ahead.
Go ahead, man. You sure?
I'm moving into baseball. What's going on with the pitchers? All these high quality pitchers arm. Is it what the NFLPA is trying to say? They blaming the 20-second clock as a reason for the arm injuries. What do you think of it?
You know, it's almost a soldier sword question there. You know, am I going to die by the sword or am I going to live by the sword? So I'll be very, very honest and upfront right now. This is obviously my own personal opinion. Being that I was a 6-foot pitcher and threw as hard as 100 miles an hour in my career and never had any major arm injuries. Pitching isn't about pitching anymore. Pitching is about throwing as hard as I can, regardless of where the ball ends up. I'm just going to maximize the velocity on my said pitch, whether it be a fastball or a slider or a curveball or so on and so forth. We don't have a lot of Hall of Fame caliber or even all-star type pitchers anymore. Greg Maddux was a pitcher. Randy Johnson, despite the fact he threw super hard, was a pitcher. Mike Mussina and Kurt Schilling. And I mean, back in my genre of the early 2000s, all the way back to 90s and 80s and 70s, you had to pitch to get guys out. You had to change speeds, change location. You had to pitch inside. You had to risk hitting guys at times. Sometimes you had to hit them on purpose. Like, there was a strategy to pitching. And I'm a huge advocate trying to help eliminate arm injuries in our youth. I'm also an assistant coach at a high school here in Tennessee, where I'm the pitching coach. I run the pitching program for both the junior varsity and the varsity program to try and instill one program, one voice, one continuity, so that as they progress from JV up to varsity, there's no change in communication. But even before that, I've worked with 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds, and there's no athletic stability in their mechanics and their foundation. It's just all about throwing it as hard as they can, regardless of where it goes.
How did that come about, Tim? Because I agree. That's what I think the real problem is. It's not the clock, the 27. It's like everybody's throwing 95 to 100, but like you said, it's in the dirt. It's high, it's outside. But I don't see curveballs. I don't see like Don Sutton and the guys back in the Vita Blue and all those guys, Catfish Hunter. All those guys had 20-game winners, and they came and pitched every year. And I don't even remember those guys even having any type of arm trouble.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the other thing too. It's the pitch clock I don't know a whole lot about because it's just recently been added over the last couple of years, but we're not even letting guys build up their arm endurance and their stamina. Like, they're throwing 75 to 90 pitches and they're out of the game. And back in the day, I mean, Nolan Ryan threw 270-something pitches in a game and came back 3 days later and started another one. Obviously you have to take care of your body to withstand that, but we're limiting pitch counts as an organization because we think the analytics have come in and said now, well, the third time through the lineup causes the hitters start to have the advantage. Well, that's true for a small percentage of that lineup. I mean, your 2, 3, and 4 hitters should be your best hitters in your lineup, right?
Right.
Well,
right.
your one guy is the fastest or the most liable to get on or make contact. Well, that's the way it used to be, because now from 1 all the way to 9, they're just trying to hit it over the fence. But your 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys, like, those should be the guys you should still be able to supersede. Now, I'm not saying that major league hitters in that spot in the lineup aren't great, because they're still MLB. They're still the 1%ers that are playing at the MLB level. But as a starting pitcher, that's where learning how to change speeds, how to save pitches. It doesn't mean back off, but it doesn't mean you're just out there from pitch 1, to the last pitch, throwing it as hard as you can with zero regard of where it goes. But I think shortening the leash on pitch counts, not allowing guys to increase their endurance and their stamina. Also the workload in between. You used to pitch on day one would be a pitch, day three would be a bullpen, and then day 5 would be another start. So you had 3 days where you were working off the mound. And nowadays guys are throwing on their start day. They might be throwing their bullpen on day 3 or 4, but all those other days in between, there's very little work on the field. They're just in the gym doing all these bands and all these plyometrics and super motions and drive line stuff and 108 stuff. And I just think at a younger age, we're getting a generation where today's major league pitchers were the very first ones that started doing all these velocity increasing programs, facilities, travel ball organizations that were advertising, we can get your kids scouted, we can get your kids scholarships, we can open them up to a possibility of going to college for free, but you need to do this program and gain velocity. And if you're not, your body call it spade as a spade, as a man, your body isn't fully mature until you're about 22, 23 years old physically. Like all your growth gaps have closed. You can still get stronger, but as far as your ligaments and your tendons, they're still developing all the way up until that age. And we're starting to see players that are getting to the MLB levels now. Those were the first generation guys of rapid velocity gains, shortcuts to get to, what I need to do to be noticed. Right. And what's happening is all that stress during that training has started to add pressure to their body. And now their bodies are breaking down because you only have a small window to be successful anyway, in any sport. You're going to be a non-professional athlete longer than you're going to be a professional athlete, unless you're TB12.
Right. We still got to check out TB12, see what he got in that.
He might be playing next year. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. I was talking to somebody about that the other day. But one last question: why are the managers? When you have a guy, the Yankees, Blue Jays, for example, Cabrera took the 1, 2, 3, threw about 7 pitches, got him out. And then they go to another guy who happened to be Swanson, and they just hit him out the roof. They scored the 4. They ended up winning. The Yankees came back to win. I just don't get how these managers, if your reliever is doing well, keep him in. Don't keep him in until if he struggles, then you bring in the next reliever. But these guys, if he gives them 1, 2, 3, they'll go right to the next guy, and the next guy may not be on. He may not have it, which Swanson didn't have it. And the Yankees, Stanton took him almost. He had one almost to Young Street there in downtown Toronto, man. Good Lord, he teed off on him the other night there at the Dome there in Toronto. But why are the managers just not going with the guy that's the hot pitcher at the end of the game and taking him out just to bring in the next guy, the guy who they saving them so they could use him again the next day or something?
So here, it's a very great question because we're all talking about what Don Sutton and Vida Blue and Nolan Ryan and all those guys used to do, right?
Right.
Back in baseball's purest form, the manager was hired to manage the team, the personalities, the players, and make informed, personal gut feeling and visual decisions based on what they saw and how they feel the game flow is going. That has been 100% completely eliminated ever since Moneyball with Billy Beane and the Oakland A's back in the mid-90s when he started switching the narrative of, I'm not going to overpay for said superstar to bring him to Oakland. I think we have 3 players that we can pay significantly less and get the same amount of production. That's when analytics really started trying to become an art in influencing the outcome of baseball specifically, because that's what we're talking about. But I'm sure it's prevalent in others.
Football is heavy now in the NFL too.
Yeah. So the managers now, everybody's, unless you're the owner of the team or the general manager, you've always got somebody to answer to, right? Somebody's telling you how to do your job. Well, the manager was hired to be in the dugout, in the clubhouse, manage the team. The GM will trade, the GM will release, the GM in conjunction with meetings and analysis of what players are doing. But when it comes time, game preparation, and clubhouse, the manager manages, right?
Right.
That's all been eliminated because now the manager is being told that they have to play said player because he has an 805 OPS against left-handed pitchers, and this guy needs to sit the bench because he doesn't hit this guy well. You can't use this pitcher in this situation because the numbers show that if he pitches against hitters in the middle of the order, he has less likely of an ability to be successful.
And
Now,
that's interesting. Tim, sorry to cut you. We're running out of time here today, but we're going to pick this up when you come into town, and we're going to have you back on Real Deal Sports Show. And we look forward to seeing you because we could talk all day. I know I'm a baseball guy too. I watch the games. Right. They got the extra inning package. I watch games every day throughout the season. So, but thank you, and we're going to see you on Saturday, May 11th, Innovative Field for the celebrity softball game.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see you guys there.
Hey, take care and have a great week. And thanks for coming on.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
All righty. J-GILLZ, BacSpin. But remember, subscribe, like, and comment to the show on YouTube. Subscribe, like, Real Deal Sports Show on YouTube. Check it out this week. Check out this show. If you missed it, tell a friend. Hey, Tim Redding was on. You get a chance to check out the show on YouTube. Real Deal Sports Show. Like, subscribe, and share. Yes, indeed. And BacSpin, J-GILLZ, the Sabres. Hey, Rick Ross said, hey, he ain't talking here from the Port of Miami, the Part 2. Hey, he don't like a drought. Hey, don't come back here telling me about it's a drought, man. Well, the Pagulas must love a damn drought. They 13 years of not making the playoffs, the Buffalo Sabres. Have you ever heard of such a – how can you not make the playoffs in 13 straight seasons, J-GILLZ, BacSpin?
I mean, J-GILLZ probably know more than me, man. I can't figure it out. I'm gonna let you answer that question, J-GILLZ.
Hey man, you got to get it done by any means necessary or make the necessary changes.
There you go.
But they fired people again, and then they got a manager that used to be the guy in charge of the gift store, the merchandising store. He's the general manager, Kevin Adams. Man, what? I mean, they're going to insanity over there in Buffalo. Kevin Adams don't know he's not no general manager. He runs the gift shop, man. Man, I mean, how can you? He too busy selling the jerseys and the merchandising stuff. And then you got the man running back over here trying to be a general manager of the team. And he's been there 4 years, and they haven't gotten any better in 4 years under his leadership or non-leadership. And that's how you get the Pagulas, when they bought the Sabres 14 years ago, the Sabres were making the playoffs. So ever since they bought the Buffalo Sabres hockey team, they have never made the playoffs. Never.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
I mean, that's what they say. It's their team, it's their money. They do what they want to do, how they want to do it. I mean, we as fans can get frustrated all we want, but they're the ones calling the shots. They're the ones making the moves. And for better, well, obviously for worse.
Hey,
we
by
have
the way,
to live with it.
Hey, BacSpin, he's the same guy that sold Buffalo on building another open air stadium in the snow belt.
Yeah, I mean, all I can say to that is maybe they were thinking about their opponents in the playoff season coming to, the weather would be a factor. But that happened last season in Pittsburgh, and they just moved the whole game to Monday. So if you're gonna do that, then might as well build the damn dome and call it a day. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if weather's gonna play a factor in it, then let the weather be a factor. Don't, because the weather was too severe and you might lose this game now because the dynamics have changed. Well, I don't agree with that, but that's when politics get involved. So
absolutely, and move the stadium to downtown Buffalo. Where you get it out of the snow belt. You building a state-of-the-art stadium with no dome, no roof over it, out in the same snow belt area that your games have been moved from the last 5 years. You had to play a game in Detroit the other year because the fans can't. You got a new stadium. The fans still not going to be able to get to the new stadium because of the snowstorms. Put it downtown where it's regular weather, downtown Buffalo, and fans can come. And guess what? You can put a dome on it. You might get the Final Four, and you might even get a Super Bowl. But now you can't get none of that out there. So, and you wonder why his hockey team hasn't made the playoffs in 13 years. Come on, man. Somebody need to check that guy out, man, and see what, man, come on. All he knows is fracking, man, and definitely
It is what
fracking,
it is, man. It is what it is.
It is what it is. And congratulations, Juan Soto's red hot. The Atlanta Braves, Marcella Ozuna, 17-game hit streak going on right now. And a young man in college baseball, University of Florida baseball, Jack Cagalone, has hit 9 straight games. He's hit a home run in 9 straight games for the University of Florida. So you got a lot of good baseball going on out there. Check it out on the local level, the high school level, college, and also the pros. Check it out. A lot of sports of all sorts. J-GILLZ, anything in closing?
Oh, man, just a beautiful event last night. Shout out to the RABJ celebrating their 20 years and hopefully 20 more years with even more media professionals who have graced the Rochester area. Absolutely.
And the tribute to James and Carolyn Blunt was outstanding. The video of it is going to go up on YouTube shortly on the 20th. It was a very film by Richard McCullough and his production company. Put a very nice 20-minute piece together, and that'll be on YouTube. It was a great event last night at the Legacy Theater for the 20th anniversary of Rochester Association of Black Journalists. Outstanding event. And BacSpin, I know you warmed up. You ready to go? You ready to get?
Yeah, we up against it. We up against it. We got to make a move. I appreciate you guys, man. Real deal sports.
I want to get your
what's up?
Your take on the beef, man. Pick a side. Who you, Kendrick, Drake? Where you at, BacSpin?
I mean, ain't nobody messing with Drake in no rap battles, man. That's all I'm gonna say. You know what I'm saying? Kendrick can say what he wants. J. Cole now came back with a banger, but the apology kind of turned that banger into a dud. You know what I'm saying? So
can't even listen to it the same, man.
I know, but Drake just dropped a new diss record today.
I heard
this morning. He got, I think, AI with Pac and AI with Snoop, and then he has the final verse. And, I mean, Drake is a problem, and don't nobody want it with him when it comes to the rap battle. Now he can have ghostwriters writing his love songs, but when it comes to rapping, nah. Drizzy got that all day, in my opinion. Now, until somebody come out with something better, Rick Ross just need to shut up, be quiet, sit down, and, keep counting his lemon pepper wings. You know what I'm saying? I give it to Drake, man. I give it to Drake. But we got to go, fellas. We got to go. We got to pay these bills and get to the Back in Time Mix Show. Real Deal Sports Show. We'll talk to y'all next week, man. Y'all have a great weekend, my brothers.
Y'all too. Be a good sport, everybody.
No doubt. Keep it where you need it, Rock City. Back in Time Mix Show is on the way right here on the beat.